everyone, it's Brandy, and you're watching Abstract Crafter. Today's video is a post review on something I unboxed 4 months ago, so if you want to see what I have to say, keep on watching. So, today I have a video. It's going to be a little bit of a weird one because I filmed half of it 3 months ago. And I actually did the unboxing 4 months ago, but it's now private, so you're not going to be able to see that. And I won't let you see it because it's really, really bad. It's probably the worst quality video I've ever put up on my channel. But it is of the Four Seasons trees. And I ordered this on Amazon from a little company called Potato and Straw. Weird name, I know. I initially bought this 4-pack sometime in June. I don't even remember the exact date because the order's archived. I bought this for, at the time, $20.99. It is now $21.68. But that makes each one of these $5.42, which is still a heck of a deal. They do have an alternate size, so these ones are 30 by 30, but they actually measure 26.5 by 26 3/4. 30 by 30 is for the full canvas size, so that's how they measure theirs. They have an alternate size of 45 by 45 for $32.99 or $8.25 a piece. Well worth it, in my opinion. So even though you can't go back and watch the unboxing, I watched it for you. I suffered the horror of that video for you. And to start out with an initial score, I am going to go ahead and give this a 10 out of 10 because it was packed very well. No, I take that back. It was a 9 out of 10 because I had to iron all of these to get them to be workable. So sorry about that. 9 out of 10. I'm going to insert the clips that I have for this one and this one, just because they were nice long video, or they were in-depth videos on these as post reviews, but I'm not going to put the whole things in, but there were some points I made in there, but most of it I can just transfer to you this way. But there was some things in there that I thought were useful, so I will put in partial clips of those. So I'm going to pause. We're going to get set up. I'm going to go through these, and then when I get to these two, I'll insert some clips from those videos. So when we come back, you're only going to see one. Alright, so we should all be good to go. I'm zoomed in a little bit so you can get a more up close and personal view of the canvases. So I'll include a link for the 4-pack. You can buy these individually on AliExpress. If that's something you would like to do, all you have to do is type in the search Four Seasons trees, and you can buy them individually plus a few extras that are not included as part of this 4-pack, but you're going to pay more than $5.42. You might get closer to the $80.25, and I do believe that those are 40 by 40s that you can get. But, like I said, I will include the link where I got these ones for you for convenience sake. So this one is, and I had to do some research to figure out what ones these are called because if you can see through the tape up here, I can't read Chinese, can you? I'm pretty sure that tells you what the name of the canvas is. But I did put them in the order, and I looked up on AliExpress as to what they were called. And this one is called Spring. This is my least favorite. Oops, I'm a little off center because my light, I don't know how much I can adjust it. Let's see, so I can get more center. There we go. This one is Spring, and it's my least favorite, just simply because I'm not a huge green fan. If you're a green fan, then this is perfect. And what you're seeing through the camera, the color is way better than what I'm looking at in person. In person, this is very yellow. It's not as green as you're seeing, and if I were to get closer to you, you'll see that a little bit more, that it's a lot of lime greens and yellows. Why they call this one Spring is beyond me. I have better ideas of how to name these, but I didn't create them. These are also originally cross-stitch kits, And there are 2 of these that you can find as crystals. I want to get them because they're like $3, but I don't know if I really want 2 of the exact same canvas just in crystal form. So I'll make that decision later on. My focus is going in and out. Let's see if we can get that to be a little bit more clear. So as you can see, the sparkle on this is pretty nice, even with my lights. So you can see that. It's very, very beautiful. As far as I will be able to put in individual side-by-sides of these because I am able to pull those from Amazon and from AliExpress between the 4 of them. So I'll do some side-by-sides of these, but we'll do that closer to the end when I show you the complete 4-pack. I just think with the inserting the clips from other videos, it's just going to be easier. They are a little bit pixelated in comparison, but not so much so that it's not enjoyable to look at, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So there is only one canvas that didn't have this issue, in which, let's see, specifically on this one, I'm trying to look. Okay, so the only way I can really show you is on this part here on the actual chart, which this is the most simplistic chart I've ever, all of them are the most simplistic charts I've ever worked with. So for that fact, it's very nice. Number 6 and number 8 were so similar that it was very hard to differentiate them. And there are probably spots on here where I put 6 on an 8 or an 8 on a 6. They looked very similar. And when you're just in go mode and you're just speeding along and working on these, it's easy to like mix them up. They're the exact same color, even the numbers were printed in the same color. So that was a little bit different. One good point I did make when I do the next one, which is summer, in that video, I don't know if I'll insert that clip or not, but I did make the point that these are not beginner friendly because they do not have like what I call the dummy circles included on them. They're just the letters printed, and especially doing the background on these, it can get kind of hard because you're trying to center them as best you can. And you can kind of see here where that wasn't always easy, and you can also see how every little piece of dirt will stick to them because of how white they are. The only nice thing about that is you don't have to worry about circles like you did with the NAM review that I showed you. This one isn't as bad because the beads were all normal size, but not all of them were consistent in that. This one, however, was the only one that the beads came from a different company. So that was a little weird. All the rest of them came from the same company. These ones came from a different company. So the symbols, other than the 6 and the 8, were pretty easy to read. The canvas condition in the very beginning, I did have to iron these. So that's why in the unboxing, I gave them a 9 out of 10. Because if we look at this checklist, the first one was canvas condition, and the condition wasn't good. They were folded, like completely folded. Not like a little bit folded. They were like creased. I had no choice. And you can still see, maybe not on this one, on some of them that were a little bit worse for the wear, you can definitely see where the creases are still there. These each probably took about 3 days to complete, so not very long at all. I like the cohesive set. I'm probably going to get white frames for these, so hopefully we'll be able to do something with that in the future. They all pretty much look alike, and you can see when I show you all of them together, you'll be able to see how they would go from spring into summer into fall into winter. So that's nice. I think there's just one of them that kind of doesn't look like it belongs, and that you'll see as we go along. But you can see where, like, these circles specifically on the outside is something more, and I'll lift this up a little bit, something to pay attention to as we get into the other ones, because if you were to order these ones on AliExpress, for example, the autumn one is the only one that I've seen different, and that one doesn't seem to flow right with these. I do think that this is a very nice cohesive pack. So if we move into summer, I'll be inserting some clips here from that video. Oh, before we do that, because in the next 2 I have clips on this, I will show you what we have. So this row here, and you can see some spilled out. These are leftovers that I have, and this is the amount of garbage. I did move these from their original containers, and there's plenty. Like, I have almost a whole container left of the white alone, whereas this was the least color used in there, and I probably used less than half of what they gave me. As far as garbage goes, there's really not that much. There's that small amount. And there was nothing significant to say about the garbage itself. I know in those next two clips of I do go over some of my favorite colors from the kits themselves. I don't have any favorite colors from this one because I'm not a fan of green. But you see, even this one, this is a very light lime green. On camera, it's showing up way brighter. That is so crazy to me, that this is a lime green, but it's showing up as like almost as a neon green. So my camera is not really portraying the colors very well. So let me pull summer back now, and I will be inserting a few clips of what I found to be important, and we'll come back to this for winter. So let's switch that out. I'll talk a little bit about this, and then I'll insert some clips for this one. So this one was my favorite out of all of them. I actually didn't think it would be, but when I insert the clips, you'll know more why I initially thought that the autumn one or the fall one would be my favorite, but because of the way that the colors ended up appearing, it ended up not being my favorite. So this one ended up having some, and you can see the sparkle a lot better on this one than the green one because there's different colors, and you can see all the blooms. This is also the most pixelated. Like, there's supposed to be a ladybug there, a butterfly up there, and that's just something that doesn't really show up. Now, the one thing with the next three, since the spring one that I just showed you was the one that had different beads, the one thing that was an issue throughout all the rest of these ones was that you would just get little itty-bitty tiny beads that were no bigger than the size of the drill pen tip. And so there was a lot of garbage in that way, in that aspect. And this one did have a nice range of 14 colors, and you can see that this one is very simplistic. But I do talk about how some of these were really hard to read in comparison because of how they are printed, specifically number 14. As you can see, that's like, it's hard to read even on camera because it was printed in gold. And I talk about how some of the colors wash the other colors out and they just don't go well with each other. But why don't I insert some of the more important clips here and what my final thoughts were when it came to this, since it was so long ago that I did complete those. I think this turned out adorable. You're getting a little glare. It's natural sunlight, so we're getting a little bit of natural sunlight glare. Let's see if I move it over, it doesn't seem to matter. But I think this turned out, I mean, yeah, it's a little pixelated, but I still think I love it. I mean, I don't care that it's pixelated. This is like supposed to be a butterfly here. There's supposed to be a ladybug right here. But I still think it looks super cute, and if we zoom way back, it kind of clears it up a little bit, but you still, like, on the bigger ones, you can tell more that that's a butterfly, or a ladybug. It actually has spots on it, and, like, that one actually looks more like a butterfly, but it's okay. I'm quite happy with it. Excuse the drill tray there. I was trying to use it as my boundaries. Okay, so I actually had a lot of fun doing this one. I only have a few complaints, and then we'll get a close-up look at the canvas, and I'll show you how much garbage I got out of it. So, the canvas was awesome. It was still really tacky, even though it had been ironed. I just wanted to make that one clear in case people had questions about that the ironing did not affect the quality of the canvas whatsoever. I guess we'll see more when we get to the ones that I just did with cloth over the top. But this one I would think would have taken more heat since it had just the paper on top. So I think, you know, everything stuck really well. The S symbol, which was, let's see, let me refer here. I think it was the magenta. It was number 14, I believe. Oh yeah, because this has 14 colors. In case I forgot to say that. 14 colors. as you can see, there was like 3 greens, 2 blues, a pink, a coral, and 2 reds, and then 2 yellows, and then black and white, of course. So I think they all work together to provide really good detail. Like, you can see the difference in this one, and you'll see that when we get to the close-up. And, like, when you get close, you can see the difference in the greens, well, especially the dark green to the light greens, but the reds, not so much. I wish there would have been more coral in this picture, because, as you know, I love coral. Anyway, it was a little difficult, because there was no borders around the symbols. So, when I first started, in my drill with me, I started down in here. And if you remember that video, if not, I'll link it up here. So you can get even watch the first part of it where I start putting the drills down. There's no borders, so it was really hard. So you have to, like, try to go in between the letters and make it as even as possible. So, but once I started going, it didn't bother me at all. And I was able to get it done fairly easily after that, once I got used to it. And then, so that would be a con. Here's a pro. I absolutely love the colors. They are so vibrant. And I actually brought some of these over, like the blues. And so I could just show you the cup. Like, look at that blue. Jesus, my hands. I'm so sorry. Someday I'll explain to you why my hands peel like that. Not in today's video, but I mean, look at how vibrant that blue is. Like the yellow here. I mean, look at that. It's so bright. And then there's even a dull yellow too. And then I'll just show you 2 more colors. I want to show you the coral and the pink. Like I said, there wasn't very many corals, and I'll actually take the dryer sheet out so it doesn't get in the way for this. Ooh, I almost spilled them. So there's like the corals. I mean, look at how bright those are. They are just gorgeous. And then, like I said, just real quick, I don't want you guys to get bored. I'll show you. Should I show you orange or should I show you magenta? I think magenta would be better. But, like, there's the magenta. They're just so vibrant. I gotta show you the orange. I just gotta. And then that'll be the last one, because it was the only orange in there, and I don't think I mentioned it when I was running down the colors quickly. Look at that orange, I mean, God, it's so bright. This is probably the brightest colors, because the picture really doesn't do it much justice. But I am very, very pleased with how the colors turned out. And I can't wait to get to the other ones now. I'm not really looking forward to the green one, because I'm not a big green fan, but we'll do it anyway. Let's see, what else did I write? Oh, the number 2 beads. And you'll see that when I show you the garbage. They were super inconsistent, which really made me nervous when I'm doing the background, and then even getting into the white flowers in there, because you'd have regular sized beads, but then you'd get these tiny ones that were no bigger than the tip of the drill pen, and I wasn't going to use those, and they would have just looked ridiculous on this canvas. I mean, you would have seen, as it stands now, and you might be able to see it, you can still see parts of the letters on the ones where I didn't have a choice but to use some of the smaller ones. And then I feel like I had plenty of extra, so I was able to be really picky with the beads, and that makes me happier than happy. I would not recommend this particular set for beginners, though, because of the fact that they have no borders, and you need to apply a little bit more strategy when putting the drills down. So for that reason alone, I wouldn't really recommend this for beginners, or for even though it's small, like if it was your first piece. Just because, like I said, there's no borders, and so you got to kind of know how to place drills in order to make it look good, I think. That's not to say a beginner couldn't try it, but I worry that it would turn them off. So I am going to turn the lights on so that you can really get the full vibrancy of this painting. I'm going to move this light a little as close as I can without getting in the frame. Let's look at the garbage really quick. This is the amount of garbage that I ended up having left, which I guess we'll look at up close too. So like I said, I was really picky. I'm going to pause you, take you down off the stand. We're going to get a close-up look at this canvas, and I'll get a zoom in so you can see how much garbage there really was. I mean, you can kind of see, it looks really pretty though, doesn't it, the garbage tray? Alright, so here we are, nice and close, and I'll try to, like, zoom over so you guys can see up close how beautiful these colors turned out. Like, the blues are very similar, so you can't tell much of a difference, but I think it gives it such great depth. And there's the coral and the pink. And I'll just kind of go over the whole thing. And you know, I had mentioned it in one of my drill pen reviews that the 310s were by far the best 310s I've ever worked with. Oh, look at there's that. See, I want to try to find a spot where you can actually see the black of the letters peeking through. It made me crazy, but there was nothing I could do about it, you know. And you guys remember this section. We worked on that together. And, you know, I think this would be, it's fine in the size that it is, which it's a 25 by 25, I believe. I don't know, but could you imagine this even bigger? It looks great in this size. So imagine this in a bigger size. It would just be so gorgeous. And I'm just trying to quickly look to see where it was that I saw those letters peeking out a lot at. Right in here. Let's see if we can get over there. Anywhere that you guys, I'm going to try to pull this down. You can see it right there. You can see the black poking out. The letters were kind of huge. But overall, I think that, and look at that sparkle. That's one thing I love about rounds, is the glittery effect that you get. And let's just go back and forth and admire the sparkle and the glittery effect that it gives. Oh my god. And you know, I realized while doing this one what my favorite part of diamond painting is. It's the transformation and the reveal of how awesome these beads transform ordinary pictures. Like I mentioned in my first drill with me, I love transforming the ordinary into extraordinary, and you definitely get that on this one. But alright guys, I will see you in the next clip for autumn, winter, or not spring. Bye! So yeah, so that was Old Brandy, baby YouTuber, talking about summer. And then the next one that I'm going to bring in is the fall or the autumn one. And you can see how they kind of start to go together. This one is different if you order this on AliExpress. It's got a lot of different elements. And I think I talk about in that one how they kind of, I thought this would be my favorite, but these blues appear to be teal when you look at the pictures. And this one is probably really dirty because I don't know if I'll insert that clip, but you can also see, look at how this one sparkles as well. You don't get that with that green one, but when you get the different colors in there, you get really beautiful sparkle on that. So you can see a lot of where the blooms are. You can see where there's supposed to be bugs on some of these flowers. And it's just, I mean, it doesn't not translate, but it also doesn't translate as well. This one also is a little bit different in the sense that it's got these lines of things coming out, which none of the other pictures have. The nice thing is, though, that the tree keeps the same form in all of these for the most part. So why don't I insert some clips of what I ultimately thought of this one, and then we'll come back and talk about winter. Alright, so as you can see here, we have the autumn canvas, or I like to call it fall. I don't know. Everybody has their preference. I guess it depends on the day for me, too, if it's fall or if it's autumn. I don't know, this one turned out a lot better looking in the camera than it does in real life. I don't know. I was really hopeful, I guess. I really wanted to like this one, but the colors that I liked the best just didn't translate as well, I guess. I don't know how I really feel. I think the red, for me, is what kind of, I wouldn't say ruins it, because it doesn't, it's a beautiful canvas. There's no doubt about that. I was trying to see if I could get my light to not spotlight this area. I keep forgetting to hook up the strip light, so, yeah, I don't know. I think it's pretty. And in the end, after we review all of these, I'll put them all together so you can see what they all look like together. The other thing, I really liked how these worked together. And then I thought these would be more teal. I don't know why I thought that when I obviously looked at the the drills to see that they were blue. I don't hate it. Let's just put it that way. There are things I dislike about it, but I definitely don't hate it. I think it's just as beautiful as the summer one, and I think it's just as vibrant. This one I didn't have as many notes as far as issues go, and then I'll show you the vibrancy of a couple of my favorite drills. Let me gather materials. Let's see what my notes say. So with this one, a lot of the beads were small, and you'll see that when we go to the close-up of the canvas. Whereas in summer, they fit really tightly. A lot of them, most of them. But in this one, they were really small. And then with the 310s, it was back to the normal, what we're used to, unlike with the summer, where they were, like I said in that one, that clip, the best that I've worked with. So, let me see here. I wanted to grab the drills. So, this one right here, let's see. This one right here, number 4, it's like a bright pink. It's kind of looking more coral here. Ooh, look at that big one with a hole right there. This one was my favorite color out of the whole bunch, just because it's so vibrant and so gorgeous. And I think that's what bummed me out. Oh my god, some of my beads are smushed off here. Because this one, I liked it so much. Come on, camera. Be my friend today. I think the red washed it out. Because you can't really pick it out at this distance. The red just kind of takes over. Like, and I know you can see that dark spot there. I had another accident with this canvas, too. Ugh. Because, you know, I'm a smoker trying to quit. And I had an accident where I spilled a little bit of my ashtray. But then, like, these purples are really pretty. I think those are pretty vibrant. There we go. And then there was just, let me see, a couple more colors. And there was one color that I was, 2 colors that I was very disappointed in. I just wanted to show you the 2 blues. Oh, sorry, you can see Sharpie on my hand because I was finishing up my other project I was working on, and it required a lot of Sharpie. You can see it on all my hands. Yeah, those blues are just, they're really pretty, and you can see through there that the pinks are very vibrant. Well, let's just, since we're in this container, might as well just show them all. But you see how they work together really nicely? Those are not colors I would have put together. I knew that they worked well, and since we're on it, let's just show, these are like a very light purple. God, my hands are just dirty from this. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Let's try not to show them. Oh, I mean, white's white. Yeah, so those are the colors up close. And I guess, oh, jeez, did you just see that? I didn't close that one all the way. I'm sure we've all been there. I think the color that surprised me that worked well in there was this 3856. These are part of the next canvas. I was running out of storage, so I just put them all together. It was this peachy color, and I thought it worked really well in this canvas. I thought it, when I first started using it, I didn't think so. So yeah, we'll just look at the garbage since we're right here, and that's the amount of garbage that I had, and I'll try to just do the top of my hand. Watch me spill this whole tray. And I don't think it's that much, and it's mostly, as you can see, just holes. And like, one of these colors, I want to say it was that really bright, like almost neon pink, had a lot where they were bulged outward instead of scooped out like this peach one is scooped out. They were bulged out, so then they would just like, you know, they don't stick to the canvas either. They just kind of slide around on it. But that's not too bad. And that's a decent amount of garbage. And I think it's important. So the 2 colors that I thought I didn't really Well, I think one of them wasn't so much the color as it was the number on the canvas, and that was number 5. Let me just grab it. This one was the only number on the canvas that it was written in gold. And the rest of them were either black or white, which is easy for me to see, but it was really hard because obviously it's about this color and then it's written in gold. So, I mean, in a way it was hard to see, but only when I narrowed it down and did most of the other numbers. And then the next one that was those purples. These ones are really soft and squishy. Like, you know, the ones where when you go to put it down onto the canvas, it, like, almost flattens. A lot of them were like that, but, I mean, it worked. So I'm going to take you down, and I'm going to show you a close-up of the canvas and show you the 2 spots on the canvas that really bothered me. So let's do that. So if you can see that right there, if I can stop wobbling, my goodness, you can see how that black sticks out on all of those. That one is, sorry if I'm shaking you, I have to look. That one was it was really big, so, of course, and then, see, a lot of these were really small. And so you can see the letters sticking out, and I did my best to cover them, if my camera will focus, but you can kind of see how they're a little bit smaller in comparison to, like, say, the blues over here, which you can still see some black coming out. Look how dirty this canvas got. I'm so mad. I'm gonna take some tape and, like, roll it over it, and it should pick out most of that. But see how that peach kind of looks nice? It almost looks like it's starting to help change the color. And then, let's see if I can find it. Wherever that light purple is, behind it. Those lavenders, okay, right in there. Those lavenders, let's see, move my finger up. Behind it, it's not, it's pink. And so, to me, it bothers me that it's not matching. God, I am so sorry. Please don't judge me on how dirty my canvas is. I did try to clean it as best I could, but, so, let's just kind of go where it's not dirty, but, see, that's where that, magenta and purple, I think they worked really well together. And then there's a spot right here where that black and that neonish pink work really well together. I really like the way they look together. It's always been one of my favorite combos of color. So, I don't know. Part of me kind of wants to redo this canvas because I screwed it up so bad with spilling on it, and I forgot to show you that. I'm so mad at myself, and I usually don't. Look at that. I could not get that clean. I ran baby wipes over it. Like, part of me, I know better than to smoke when I'm working on my canvas, at least right next to it. And I think I just wanted to get this one done because so many bad things kept happening with this canvas. And you can just see where other things stuck to it. And with the white, it really stands out. And I'm really disappointed in myself. And so I'm trying to take that away from the overall look of the canvas. I'm trying to get it out of that spotlight so you can get a really good view of the whole thing. But, you know, so I kind of want to just buy this one over and redo it so that it looks as nice as I know the other ones are going to look. So, alright, that's that for this canvas. And the next clip will most likely be winter. Woohoo! So, yeah, that was what I thought of that one. And this still, like, has some of my favorite colors. As I'm looking at it more and more, I love, like, the purples and this bright pink, especially down in here. I know I talk about it in that video about how some of these colors work together, but how I thought some of them could have worked better. But this one, if you look for it on AliExpress, you might not find this exact version of this one. And that's the only one that I wasn't able to find that was similar. So now when we get into the winter one, you're going to see it's completely different than the rest of them. And one nice thing about that I find very special is a while back in one of my videos I talked about AB gems. And there was a discussion in the comment, I don't know which video because I've had quite a few with the ABs in them now. But somebody had commented about how nice they could imagine an entire picture with AB gems to be in it. And this one comes as close as you're going to get to a picture with AB Gems. And the white on the outside is completely white, but the inside is the AB Gems. And you can see that more. I'll show you an up close, but you can see it more when I'm doing that. And, I mean, these aren't the nicest AB Gems I've worked with. And when we get up close, you can kind of see how some of them are more coated, which is something that you'll find pretty typical. But they have both the yellow, orange, pink, and the purple, blue. I think it's just purple and blues. But you can see that. And up close, it kind of is a little bit off-putting. But it's supposed to represent, like, snow on the tree. And you can also see how they added ornaments in this one. But it kind of also washes it out a little bit in comparison to the rest. But you do get that really nice sparkle with the little bit of rainbow sparkle that catches it. So I think if there was like more blue AB Gems in there, that might be, but it might be a little better. But you can kind of get a nice representation of what a picture. It was the second most color in this one. And it's a little bit of a representation of what a picture might look like full of AB Gems. And this one has a lot of really beautiful colors, and we'll just start out with that's the amount of garbage. So this one and the first one, the spring one, were the ones that I had the least amount of garbage with. Again, I have almost a full container left over of the white, which was the background. And for the AB white, if I get it out, I got quite a nice amount left too, so you can see in there all of that. Alright, so some of my other favorite colors from this kit, really there's not that many because it's 7 colors, but since my camera doesn't really translate very well, the colors, but I do like this one. This is one of my favorite colors that happen to be blue. It is 3845. By the way, the actual canvases themselves don't tell you the DMC numbers, but the packs of diamonds did. So that was nice. And then this has always been one of my favorites, 995. 996 is also one of my favorite blue colors, but you can see that in there. So, I mean, really, this was the least monocolor, and again, I probably only used half of what is left over. So that's... gotta get these in there just right, or they just fit funny. So I'm going to go ahead now at this point here and insert side-by-side so you can see how they all turned out in comparison to their pictures. So why don't we come in here and we'll do a side-by-side of spring first. So that's that one. And then once I get through these side-by-sides, I'm going to talk about some similarities, the obvious differences, and then I'll show you what all of them look like together. Let's put in our side-by-side here of summer. Okay. Side-by-side here of spring. No. Autumn. Jeez. It looks like it should be spring to me. So that's why I keep saying that. Autumn. Alright, and finally, let's do a side-by-side of winter. Alright, I'm going to pause. I'm going to pull back the camera so we can get all 4 of them in there so we can see how they look together and the obvious differences of each of them. So this is the best I could do to show you all 4 in the screen. Ignore everything off to the sides. It's my room. It's not clean. So I wanted to mention something before we get into similarities and differences. You can see that you're not getting the detail that you're getting. I don't normally get a chance to look at the pictures of each until I'm editing, so I don't really get a chance to comment on them, but I did take a brief pause so that I could go and look, and as you can tell, you're just not getting the detail that you should be getting, especially this one. This one shows up a lot more blue in the pictures, and I actually went to AliExpress in the meantime, and this one, it looks so funny because it's supposed to be comprised of snowflakes, and it doesn't translate super well. I mean, in the camera it does better than looking in person, but whew, catch my breath, I just ran up the stairs. So I wanted to show you, because you can see somewhat how the trees are supposed to be the same tree transitioning through spring into summer into fall into winter, but when you look at them all together, the only things that I'm seeing that are similar are this curve in the tree there and this branch, but it doesn't always appear in the same place, so that kind of throws me off. I still think that they're going to look great in frames next to each other. I don't think that they're so different that you can't see that. The one thing though is summer and autumn, you can see a lot more the same, where you're getting these little lines coming out, and you can somewhat see the flowers transitioning, you know, like here opening into this one and then into this one, and you can see elements of each that would show you that they are the same season. In particular, this one you can see where it looks like, you know, things are starting to bloom. You're getting a lot of greens in there. This one, for summer, you're getting like bugs up in the corner up here on the flowers themselves. You can get some colorful flowers down in there. In autumn, you're seeing like the reds of the trees when they switch. And then in the winter, you're seeing a lot of like ornaments hanging from the trees and what's supposed to look like snowflakes. I'm trying to look in my camera, and you're not obviously seeing what I'm seeing as far as sparkle goes right now because of the angle that we're at. But I do want to put in right now a side-by-side of my 4-pack here compared to the 4-pack that you're getting if you're looking at it on Amazon. So why don't I insert that right here? So as you can see, I mean, for the size that they are, they're translating as best that they can. Obviously, the bigger you go, the more detail is going to be more obvious. And while I was took my little break to look at pictures and such, I did find more of these on AliExpress for anywhere from cheaper to more expensive than the prices that I listed in the beginning of this video. So it's up to you whether you want to just go easy and order this 4-pack or go onto AliExpress and have more options. I was wrong. It's not this one that was different. It's this one that's different. The one that I found on AliExpress is just circles, and it was just a little weird how it was so much different than the rest of them. But, you know, and these are a cross-stitch pattern. You can find these as cross-stitches throughout, and they come in these normal canvases like this. You can get them as partials. You can get them as, these two are the ones that I was telling you can get as crystals. They're quite simple, more simple when it comes in the crystal form of these two, but they're gorgeous nonetheless, because you're getting, they're partials, and you're getting just small elements sticking out as crystals, which I think is what you really want when it comes to making something special like that. So I'm going to grab my checklist here if I can find it in my stash. Oh, garbage. Alright, post-review checklist. So, I showed you original photos. We talked about, I guess I didn't. These were ironed. So these canvases in particular were featured in multiple videos. Only one of them has been privated. The summer one up here was my second ever drill with me. So I'll link all of those up in the iCard and down below at various spots throughout the video. Symbols were so easy to read depending on the canvas. Some were more clear than others. The canvases I talked about, I had to iron them, and my ironing video is with these canvases. Garbage was so-so depending on the canvas. The more colors, obviously there's more opportunity for garbage. The ones that had the most were obviously this one and this one, because this one had 13 and this one had 14, whereas this one only had 8 and this one had 7. So there was less garbage with these two because some colors were just better than others. There was obviously quite a bit left over. I've already put away the beads from this one and this one, so I can't remember offhand how much I got, but I know it was quite a bit just from watching that video back over. And there was quite a bit in these two, depending on which color it was. Overall, the experience was a lot of fun. I had fun working on these. I really enjoy working on smaller canvases, specifically in between bigger projects, because you can get kind of bored and just kind of over it. I can, anyway. When I'm working on bigger canvases, I just kind of want to be done with it, because you want to see what it looks like. You spend a lot of time with them, and sometimes if the picture isn't transitioning very fast, it can get kind of boring, especially if they're monotone like these ones would be, how these ones would be in bigger sizes. So I didn't need to communicate with the store at all. There was no issues that came up. So if we were to go into scoring, I am going to score this based on the 4-pack. Initially, I thought I was going to do each individual one, but since I didn't buy them individually, there's really no point in that. I could if I bought them on AliExpress, but then I would just score them individually beginning to end. And since I scored them as a group, and I think it's only fair because that's how they were purchased, so we'll score them as a group. Just to remind you, I did say that after I rewatched that video, that this 4-pack would get a 9 out of 10, with the 1 point missing because of canvas condition. And so, when we talk about the overall look of the finished canvases, though they are quite pixelated, I still think for their size, they translated very well. And if it's throwing you off that this one has a different color border, sorry to interrupt myself, it throws me off too. But I ran out of tape. There's nothing I can do. I used this on other ones and therefore didn't have enough to finish with this one. So just putting it out there for those of you that have OCD, or the fact that that canvas is overlapping and this one was underneath. There, fixed. So, for the overall look of the finished canvases, yes, I will give them their full 3 points. The bead quality, obviously there's plenty left over, and though I had issues along the way, the thing that really matters is that you have enough to finish the project. So I will give it the 2 full points for the bead quality. The fun factor was there for me. The only one I did not enjoy was the green one, but even with that one I still had fun. Just because I didn't like the colors, I still liked completing it, and I switched colors often enough with that one that it did make it enjoyable for me. So the fun factor definitely was there. The canvas condition, I will take that point away because I had to iron them. They had deep wrinkles in them, and it didn't always come out. I think it's this one. I can still see the wrinkles on the back, and even though I was able to get those out, I shouldn't have. It's the point of I had to iron them to get them to this condition that they're in so that I could work on them. So the fact that I had to do anything to them is where they're losing that point. I also am taking a ½ a point off for symbol clarity because some of them just didn't look right. Some of them were squished together. On this one, I remember to tell you how you can see a lot of the colors, specifically right in this area, if I can get it to not be blurry. Anyway, you can see the symbols still poking out. So for me, that is a big deterrent. So I am taking a ½ a point off for the symbol clarity. They get the automatic point for communication. So overall, the post-review score is an 8.5 out of 10. I'm going to pause momentarily so I can ask my husband what the ultimate score is. Okay, so I got my genius husband to give me my medium score. So for the unboxing, we had a 9 out of 10. Post review has an 8.5 out of 10, bringing it to an 8.75 out of 10, which is barely above what you want to get. 8.5 is my cutoff between recommending and not recommending. I recommend them on the fact of the price alone, either for both the 30 by 30 or the 45 by 45. They're they still all come to under $9 a piece, depending on the canvas. That price again, I can tell you, $5.42 for each one of them if you buy the 30 by 30, and $8.25 if you buy the 45 by 45, which is still a heck of a deal. So based on that and the scores, I can give you a recommendation to, yes, I would buy these from Potato and Straw again. I would also wouldn't mind going to AliExpress and getting the ones that I liked that were in between. Specifically, there's a purple one, a heart one, and then there's a more obvious fall one, which is oranges and browns and reds. Because this one to me doesn't really say fall, but that's what they call autumn. Sorry, not fall, autumn. But overall, I am extremely happy. I think they're going to look very good with white frames on them. But that's about all I can really say. So, thanks for hanging in there with me. I know this is a long video, but going over 4 canvases that were done at very different times and very different points in my diamond painting career. There was a lot of information to go over. They each had their positives and negatives. They each had their issues. So there was a lot to talk about. And, you know, I like to give you a nice comprehensive review, especially when you're buying stuff from Amazon, because it's not a lot of people do. AliExpress seems to be the more normal way to order these, to order diamond paintings in general. And 4-packs aren't something that's super common, and you want to know that each one of them is going to be worth it. You don't want to order them and even 3 of them be good and 1 not be good. So I just want to make sure, you know, they are very cohesive. All the canvases were the same. There was only 1 pack of beads that was different. It might throw some people off that this is the only one that has ABs, but I can see why it only was the only one. They are trying to represent snow as best they could. With that, I will let you go. Let me know down in the comments what you think. Which one was your favorite canvas? I think Summer's my favorite. I just like the rainbow of colors in that one. And then we go 2 on this one. This is my number 3. And this is my least favorite out of them. So let me know which ones were your favorite and least favorite out of these 4 down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the bell so you never miss an upload from me. And with that, I will let you go. Have an awesome day. Have fun diamond painting. Have fun crafting. Have fun doing whatever it is that makes you happy. I love you, friends, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.